Hello, everybody, and welcome to Beyond Sports, where we BS about sports.
Right.
Oh, the playoffs are here, and they have started, and you know that's all we're going to talk about.
That's all there is to talk about.
All there is to talk about. Is there? There was other things on the TV tonight at work, but you know what? They weren't. They weren't fucking anything that mattered.
I don't know. Do they play other sports this time of year? I wouldn't know.
Not professionally, in my eyes.
Right. They don't matter right now.
Yeah.
And they won't for another month.
So it's finally happening, guys.
It is. Hey, we're here.
It took like 7 years to fucking happen, but it's finally happening, my boy.
Gee, I don't see any of your Eagles stuff in the background there.
Oh, I have more posters on the way.
What happened? Where'd they go?
Oh, I have it right here. I have my lamps over here. My lamps like in. They're still.
Okay. All right. Well.
The Funko Pop, the Eagle.
The greatest Eagle there's ever been. Can we see the back of that jersey on that Eagles pop?
It says Carson Wentz because you bought it for me. I don't buy my own Funko Pops. I get them as gifts.
I'll do that. I wouldn't buy my own Funko Pops.
Just like Patrick Mahomes, I did not buy this Funko Pop.
I also got you that one. Yeah. It was a much better decision. I mean, look,
nice.
Carson had just come off that good year. You know,
he had a really good year. They probably weren't making Nick Foles pops.
No.
Otherwise, I know you would have
for some insane reason.
Sam, would you be offended if P burned that Funko Pop and sacrificed to the gods?
No, I would not be offended. You're talking about the Carson Wentz one because the Patrick Mahomes one I'd absolutely.
No, the Wentz one.
Yeah.
Hey, we almost got to see Carson Wentz play a playoff game. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Mm-hmm. Should we start off? I mean, look, it was kind of a boring playoff week.
We can go backwards and we can start with the last game that was played.
Good.
And then we can make ourselves happy. We can just talk about happiness after I talk about how sad I was.
We can.
We can try something new. Lead off with something other than the Chiefs.
I mean, look, let's talk about the one division in football that is no longer alive.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do that.
We'll start with my pain, and then we'll lead directly into the thing that made it hurt less.
There's somehow the NFC South outlasted the NFC East.
Well,
it's insane. It's insane. The NFC East also had 2 more chances than the NFC South to move on.
Oh, you're right. They're the only division not still represented in the playoffs.
They are
NFC or AFC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
hey, we did it. We did it. We were first at something.
I mean, you sacrificed the Eagles, made the sacrifice so that the Cowboys would also lose. Let's just say that. Let's just
sure,
just to help it.
I mean, we saw it come. The writing was on the wall. When you can't, beat the Cardinals and the Giants to win your division heading into the playoffs, you're probably
we all saw
beat a team that made the playoffs.
We all picked the Bucks, right?
I took the Eagles just in hopes that they would do something.
Your fandom.
Yeah. My fandom made me do it.
We've been there. All been there.
And I didn't even want to do it. I just didn't want them to get clean swept in the picks.
I will say that when it came to the Cowboys and the Eagles losing, the real deal, like it was embarrassing losses, right?
No, it was more embarrassing for the Cowboys than it was for the Eagles.
Yeah, I guess just because we kind of saw the Eagles had already started this embarrassing streak. We kind of all saw it happening.
It's embarrassing in 2 different ways is the problem.
It is.
But I guess if you live in Philadelphia and you're a fan of the Eagles, this is hitting on a different level because they're fucking insane up there, okay? The majority of Eagles fans are fucking insane. Because they are in that city and they got that fucking but like I'm separated.
That horse poop.
I'm realistic about it. I watched the same football games you guys did for the past 7 weeks. and it wasn't good. Like there was nothing out there that led me to believe we're a team that's to be feared. After we,
I don't think we've ever seen a team start off and look like the best team in the league, and then by the end of it look like the worst team in the league.
There is probably, I'm going to agree with you, but that's doing no research.
The Vikings from last year.
And it's even worse because the Vikings were at least a little more consistent last year. To whereas the Eagles started out 10-1 and then finished the season, 1-6, if you include that playoff game?
Yeah, no, it wasn't good.
And not only that, but they lost to some terrible teams, the Giants and the Cardinals, right? Who are going to both be picking like top 5 in the draft or somewhere close to that. Then they got blown out by the Buccaneers, who a week before only put up 9 points on the worst team in the league, the Panthers, right? They beat the Panthers like 9-0. And then they put up 32 points or something, like 34 points.
I got a quote for you. I got a quote from the Eagles before the season started. If you will let me. It's from our fearless leader in Philadelphia, Nick Sirianni. His quote is, so one thing we wanted to do with our team offensively, let's say is try to really, it's not always about coming up with new plays and new wrinkles and new things like that. Sometimes it's just getting better. And a lot of times it's just getting better at your base stuff. And how do you coach it better? And how do you do it better? And off of that, what are some wrinkles off of that? Not necessarily new things, but things that are wrinkles. I guess I would say where I'm going with that is that's the same way I thought about year 3. I don't think it's anything new. It's about how do we get better at what we're already doing. So
those are
the word salad.
That is word salad, and that is, dude, I'm reading exactly.
That is classic. That is just a classic Sirianni press conference.
But okay, so here's the thing they take from it. What he's saying is, it's not important to do new things. We're just going to do the exact same fucking thing we did last year and hope it works. And
we're just trying to do it better.
We're hoping it works better. We're not worried about trying to evolve. And it's like, okay, so here's one thing that Jeffrey Lurie does. Jeffrey Lurie at his end of season meetings, it's handled a little differently than probably in Dallas. Just based on what I've seen, because Jeff Lurie is pretty short-leashed with this shit. He calls you in and he doesn't see really what you think of the season has it win. He's going to find out what he's going to be like, thank you for getting me to that Super Bowl. How are you getting me to the next one? I need your plan on how you're getting us to a Super Bowl next year. So he's going to get that plan. And if it's not good enough, Nick Sirianni's gone. Like, that's how it's going to be.
It's just going to say draft from Georgia.
Yeah, and I think that it's time to maybe scout a different school.
Baggers.
I mean, this year it's probably Michigan.
Look, you tell me that their secondary is good, and I know that on paper they have good players at those positions.
That's what I'm saying.
As a unit, that secondary is not good.
They're being coached out. None of these guys. You saw it with Buffalo, okay, with Ken Dorsey. Once Ken Dorsey was gone, that team performed way better.
Yeah, but your defensive coordinator was not the problem.
The only player in that secondary this year that receivers respect is Slay.
Yeah.
And he's been hurt all year. But what I'm saying is, you've seen teams fire coordinators and get positive results. This is not an instance of that.
I think that happens when that coordinator is the issue. Like with the Steelers, Matt Canada was an issue. With the Bills,
and Dorsey was an issue.
He was an issue.
Yeah. But I will say,
Philly, it may not have been your defensive coordinator that was the issue. Like,
I am just going to say our defense wasn't doing well early.
And they did even worse.
The only person on that team that looked like they came to play was Devontae Smith.
Yeah, Devontae Smith. Dallas Goedert played well, I thought.
On the field looked uninterested.
Goddard made a lot of big plays in that game.
Here was the real difference between the Cowboys and the Eagles getting blown out, is that the Cowboys looked ill-prepared, right? They looked like a team that really wanted to do it and tried to, but they just, they were not prepared for that game in any way. The Eagles seem like they didn't even want to be there.
They were already
The
on
Eagles
vacation.
seemed completely uninterested.
there
and
was
like
no
they were
desire.
just trying to get this shit over with. They're like, how can we end this as quickly as possible?
And I mean, like,
Yeah, I mean, as brutal as Troy and Joe Buck were last night, like
I
they were
did.
saying something that was very true. It's like they look like a team that's 4-12 playing out the last game of the season.
Yeah. Like they just were ready to move on and they
Yeah.
did not care.
And
Like at least
the work.
the Cowboys had a little heart at the end of the game, and though it was garbage time, they still like tried to do some things.
Well,
Same with the Steelers, right? They kind of made it interesting in that fourth quarter,
had we
although the
left
Bills.
Jalen Hurts in there any longer, he
But
was going to get killed because they were just letting every fucking blitz get right at him, or he
Yeah,
would decide,
they lit Jalen up last night, man.
dude, it was every fucking play. He was under pressure. There was one play he threw where he threw it deep to, I believe, Quez Watkins, who is our version of it. He's MVS without the contract. So look out, he's coming to Kansas City. As an upgrade. It's not good. Don't do it. But
No,
Jalen threw. It was a 2. He drops back 1, 2, and had to just launch it fucking up because he's already getting hit. And it's like, dude, there's no creativity.
the problem with that is like you're playing a Todd Bowles defense. You know that he's going to blitz.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
That's
but you
all
don't
he
get.
does.
Jalen's not
How are
giving.
you like? How are you just not prepared?
Yeah, I don't. I don't know.
But it's
Look different in Philly next year. I don't know that I agree with firing Sirianni. I'm a big.
It
I
would seem a little rash.
I would personally, and I'm not gonna disagree with Jeffrey Lurie on this, but I would do if it was bad this year, I would fire mid-season. I would do that instead of. I would give
I'll say this for you guys. I don't think Jeffrey Lurie is going to downgrade.
yeah.
Now, what you consider an upgrade might be different from what he thinks, but
I
think your owner's smart enough not to downgrade coaches. Like when he's fired people, like Chip Kelly was the one.
Chip Kelly was looked at as that hot dude. Like, I mean, I understand.
Yeah, he was looked at as the new offensive genius.
Yeah, so I understood, and I was actually excited about that. Dude, that was a dark day. That was
I
dark.
do
But
remember
I
those
mean, other than
times.
that, he's like since Andy Reid, he's made some pretty sound.
Yeah, I
hires.
love the Dougie P. He gave Dougie P the appropriate amount of leash.
It was
He gave it he let it lightning in a bottle. Not that Super Bowl. Let him coach out. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'd give Sirianni one more.
But the other thing I keep hearing, and because I'm hearing it from so many different sources, is, and I believe it, is that at some point this team quit on Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, you keep hearing that, and it kind of looks like it may have happened.
That's the thing that keeps bubbling up, and like
One thing I will say
nobody's saying they got it from like an inside source or anything like that. But when everybody's coming to the same conclusion,
Did
there's
you
usually some.
did you see what Jalen Hurts had to say about Nick Sirianni after the game?
I mean, Jalen Hurts always has good
Jalen
quotes,
Hurts
and
isn't
he's
come
going
out
to say the
say that.
Oh,
same.
dude, like this
He's going
isn't
to say the right
That dude's a
things.
human Instagram quote.
So here is Jalen Hurts had to say his what they said after the game. They asked him if he wanted the Eagles coach back. Hurts said, "I didn't know he was going anywhere." Told that there has been rampant speculation that Sirianni's job was in jeopardy. Hurts said, "I didn't know that."
So
And
that's
then,
not a yes.
and then when asked whether he had confidence in him to fix the Eagles' late season free fall that landed with a thud at Raymond James Stadium, the quarterback said, "I have a ton of confidence in everyone in this building."
Yikes.
All that was missing from Hurts' 3 dodges was a rooster's crow. So
Jeez.
that's what I'm saying. Like
That's pretty rough.
yeah. Jalen did not go out of his way to defend him. He didn't. Obviously, there's nothing that he said that bashed him.
All right. Yeah, but that, I
We can
mean,
speak
that
a
in
little
itself.
football talk here.
Look,
I will say it's one of the odder pairings of personalities I've ever seen.
It really is. They're very.
Have you seen that GIF going around of Sirianni at the Chiefs game? And it was him and Jalen standing right next to each other, and he flips the crowd off, and Jalen bats his arm down.
yeah, Jalen has to be the parent or the,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have your player like keeping your coach under control like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I-
typically once you flip a crowd, the bird, it's not. I mean, Jim Schwartz didn't last long after flipping the bird to the crowd.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think
Yeah, so
making
yeah,
that
like,
Super Bowl really got to Sirianni's head, it feels like.
well, that's like his whole act was always going to fall apart once the losing started.
anyway, we'll talk about
Vibes, good vibes.
we'll talk about the Chiefs.
Love
Who
the Chiefs.
Oh
Man.
man.
It was pretty
Um,
so here's my prediction for next year, based on what I'm seeing. Kadarius Toney is not going to be on this roster. You don't get
He was hurt again.
yeah, Tony's done. He won't
Yeah.
done it.
Why are we talking about that? Why are we talking about who's not going to be on?
Because
supposed
we're segueing into the happy stuff, Sam.
Oh,
That's something that makes me happy. So I think that
whole game made
because
me happy. I don't know.
I think Sky Moore will be back next year because he
It's
is
just as draft pick value.
yeah, he was a draft pick. He'll be a member of the Chiefs. But the good news is we didn't have to watch either of them play, and the Chiefs won.
And yeah, looked great.
Great. Good game of football.
I mean, you listen to commentators on TV, you'd think, ho hum.
Oh, I know. And really it's just because like our red zone offense is the only thing that I see that we need to work on right now. We moved the ball with ease most of that game. It was just in the red zone, got hung up a little bit at times. And there was that block in the back call that was not that was a pretty bad call.
So,
But,
winning by 19 just isn't good enough anymore.
Well, we're
know.
going in and we're playing, a team that's just,
Unless we
a
put up
whole
30 when we
offsides
good.
penalty, a whole offsides penalty better than us.
Right.
So I'm terribly worried about a team that only beat us because a player who won't be in that game lined up offsides on the play that he scored a touchdown.
Yep.
So
And a game we played without Pacheco or Drew Tranquil and limited action from Bolton.
yeah, dude, it's gonna be.
There we go.
But the good
I
news
feel
is,
like
as long as it's not -30, what conditions can they throw at us?
it's supposed to be -3, actually.
In Buffalo, I mean, that's not gonna. It's not -30.
We
Whatever.
just did that,
We
dog.
just did that.
Exactly. That's nothing new. So I'm not as concerned.
And the Bills just lost like their last good defender, Bernard.
Yeah. And do you want to see Mahomes' record? Like look at Mahomes' stats on the road versus at home. He's actually better on the road.
He's better on the road.
One thing I will say is
We haven't seen him in the playoffs yet on the
So-
road. So,
I
but
think
in the
we're
regular
better
season,
than Pittsburgh. I think we're a better football team than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
yeah.
And they had some. If listen, like that, they had an
The
interception in the
Steelers were
red
in
zone
that game in the fourth
and a
quarter.
fumble by George Pickens that really turned those two turnovers really changed that game's complexion. Without those, Pittsburgh's in that fucking ball game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
mean, they still had a chance to win that in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that
we
interception
have to,
and that Mason Rudolph played a decent game in that. Let's not. I don't want to dog Mason on that, but yeah, this isn't a.
no, we just need to play mistake free.
Yeah,
The
we just gotta
offense
play a good
does.
brand of football. But if we can play the exact game we just fucking played against the Dolphins,
Right.
we'll win that game. We will win that fucking football game. Trust me, boys.
Our defense too dominant, man. I know the Fishes was frozen, but
And the good thing is, like,
only 7 points.
listen, Gabe Davis ain't gonna have that Gabe Davis game. You know why? Because this time we coming in with a Snead and a McDuffie.
Right.
He hasn't gotten to see them boys in the playoffs. Whenever he
Sure
went
not.
off on us, that was Tyrann Mathieu being a scratch right before the fucking game. That's why Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs, they both getting locked.
I see it.
I'm more worried about James Cook.
We Snead handled Diggs once this year already.
That's what I'm saying. And then I think McDuffie will be able to lock up fucking Gabe Davis.
The tight ends are what I worry about.
That and the running game. Because the running game, since they got
they've got probably the best 2 tight end group in the NFL.
Absolutely. They got great tight ends. And then I mean, ever since they got rid of fucking Ken Dorsey, their running game has been
figured out how to run.
And I'm like, Ken Dorsey will never be a fucking offensive coordinator again.
I'm not worried about them running on us.
Those are the parts of the game I'm just keeping my eye on. If we can stop the run game, and we're gonna take some licks from the tight ends.
Yeah. But hey,
we'll do
who
decent
also
against
figured
them.
out how to run the ball?
Yeah. We have $1.86 or something.
Yeah, I mean, let's
Having
see,
Bolton and Tranquil out there. Oof.
147 rushing
And
yards.
Willie Gay's been playing
41 of
right
that came
now.
from.
Like Willie Gay is right now. You're sitting him. I'm seeing a version of him play. I'm like, pay that man.
They're not.
Yeah, I think they're not going to keep Chris Jones,
He
dude.
just tweeted out yesterday that he's sad he probably played his last game at Arrowhead.
I think hopefully he'll be back.
I hope not. I mean, I get it though. Like, I love
Kinda,
Willie Gay,
if it's like if we
but
can only have two of the three, I would let Gay go.
yeah, you got
I
to
would
take
rather.
Bolton over him.
I like Gay on like he is the best teammate on the team. It seems other than Travis.
Yeah,
Kelce.
that's he's a big locker room dude.
He is
He
huge
is.
in the
He's
locker
the
room.
one.
That's almost worth his weight in gold.
Yeah,
I
he's the one asking him to play, that swag song over the
yeah,
speakers
back
to get the
surfing.
team all hype and whatnot. Like, I'll miss him for sure. I don't want
He's
him to go.
he's
I'll
a
No,
miss
I don't
him.
want him to go either,
Oh,
but
watch it. Watch all the offense. Every time the offense is on the field, Willie Gay's standing right there with a fucking towel, no matter how cold that shit
I
is.
don't. I don't want him to go.
I'm
But
not. I want him to stay.
I think we have to pay him or Bolton, and it's going to be Bolton
I think they might pay him both.
and Sneed.
They're not keeping Snead. He's a cornerback, dog. Come
I
on,
know.
get
I
it out of your
keep
fucking
Sneed.
mind. We drafted 3 last year that were fucking.
I know. I know.
honestly, I think Snead is the one we're gonna pay on defense.
He should. I mean, dude, Sneed's our best defensive player.
I
Like, he
think if we're ever
is.
going to pay a
I
corner,
mean,
it would be Snead
besides
because
Chris Jones,
because of his penalty numbers, it's going to bring his number down because he didn't make All Pro, and if he would have made
great,
All Pro, he was going to
great.
get paid.
Bring his numbers down. Get penalties as long as you don't get allow any
Some teams might
touchdowns.
be
I'm
willing
fine
to
with it.
pay because look at him. He is the perfect fucking player if it's not for the penalties. He tackles, he blitzes, he fucking
There's
dude.
nothing he
Like I
doesn't
said,
do.
he is fucking the perfect defensive player, and I think that somebody's
And
going to pay him very well for that.
I know. And the only reason we might not pay him is because we do have like the next
McDuffie,
iteration of him
Williams.
already in the
You have
team.
3 dudes right there that you drafted just last year. You know that's
Okay,
Brett Beach's
here's
strength
what
as
we
the
can do with
quarterback.
Snead though. See if we can give Snead a good 3-year contract, maybe a big one even, right? But 3 years, because that takes us that the end of that 3 years is when McDuffie's rookie contract ends.
That'd be nice.
Then we can let Snead go and up McDuffie if things are still going how they are.
That would be nice, but yeah, dude, I just don't
So,
see us
Like
signing
those,
whenever
I
you're.
mean,
That's the best position he drafts. That and D line. That's why I'm like, dude, him and he does good at linebacker too. What can I say? I mean, Chanel's amazing as well.
If
he's pretty good.
Karloff just continues on his trajectory, we're gonna have to pay him 80 to 100 million in a couple.
Karloftis has done
Yeah,
nothing but get
Karloff is
better.
really good, but how much? My thing also, like, I think he's a really good player, but how many sacks do we lose? Does he lose next year without Chris Jones?
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll
That's a
see.
good question. But yeah, I'd say try to keep Snead for the rest of McDuffie's rookie deal.
I'm in
And
no way disagreeing when I've been saying that. I do want us to keep Snead. I love Snead. He's like I said, he's a perfect player. I just
he's a
don't think
perfect
it's
corner.
happening.
Yeah, and I don't want a Snead contract to keep us from improving our offense too.
Yeah, we definitely need to because the 12 million we're gonna save once we cut MVS, all 12 million of that has to be spent on the offense, I think.
Yeah. And the thing that sucks is like our tackles as well. We only had Smith for a 1-year contract, or was that?
Yeah, but I think Wanya Morris is gonna take it next year. I think he'll be okay. I think he had a couple games this year where he looked
We still have to get our tackles figured out. And Tooney's contract isn't far. Neither are Trey and Creed. Like, can we keep both Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey?
I think those are the 2 that we're gonna keep because they're younger and homegrown. I wouldn't be shocked if we did pay to keep Thuney if we kept the whole interior together.
Very good. But
If they're
it's,
all
I mean,
playing.
That'd be a lot of money, man.
Oh
starting
yeah,
to
I
pay a
mean,
lot of people now. Starting to pay
yeah,
a lot of
but
people now.
sometimes
But without Chris
right
Jones
guard-
and MVS,
listen,
the Chris
right,
Jones and MVS
right guard
pay
is the
off
most
more.
affordable fucking contract you can get. You
Bro.
know,
No,
right?
we gave Taylor that 4-year deal, didn't we? We
Yeah.
got him. It was Smith.
Well, and one of the problems is Joe Tooney keeps rattling off all pros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tooney's left guard, so he's going to be the more expensive of the 2. But Trey Smith isn't going to really break the bank. You know,
Like that trio is just too good. And Trey Smith is just such a fucking.
I mean,
yeah, him and Creed both play
watch some
position.
Trey Smith highlights. That dude is going to get some money.
Yeah, he'll get money. I mean, I'm not saying that. Listen, any money.
But you're right. Right guards are
NFL
affordable.
Yeah,
Right
our
guards and
offensive line,
centers.
like whether they get nominations for awards or not, they're no secret.
Yeah, if I'm gonna have the highest paid player at any position, yeah, it's probably gonna be a fucking right guard. I'm gonna have the highest paid right guard and the highest paid kicker and punter. That's my goal.
Not spending a lot of money. Got it.
No. Center gonna be
Are we still? We are going, man. We're gonna cut all of this. You know that. Like none of this.
no,
Is
not yeah. We're
at
cutting a
all.
lot of. We're gonna have to cut. We'll see.
Anything else about that game? Mahomes looked really good. I know he had a lot of like incompletions, but most of those were throwaways.
It was negative 30 degrees.
You can.
The
It
Dolphins
was.
did not want to play.
Dolphins were too fucking cold.
They were.
Credit to them for
That-
credit to Tyreek for the touchdown. That was a nice
Yeah.
touchdown. But that's
He
still
got away with one.
McDuffie
That was the
2,
one.
him 1.
Our defense made one mistake the entire game, and
Yeah.
they took advantage of it. Good for them, but
Yeah.
great for our defense for making one mistake the entire game.
It's tough to believe Tua is going to get a second contract with the Dolphins, isn't it?
I think they're gonna. They sounded like they really want to keep him.
I mean, he has
And
his 50. They have picked up his 5th-year option, so he's
It's because how much better do you think you can improve? Like
True.
Tua is not the worst. It's not the best.
no. I mean, you
He's-
put a good O line in front of him this year. Tua, the thing I'm happiest to say about Tua was he did progress. He didn't get hurt at all. He missed 0 games this year.
True.
That's huge. That's fucking
That
huge.
is.
The stuff, whatever he did in the offseason, he said he started taking jiu-jitsu. So whatever he did in the offseason, keep
Jiu-jitsu?
doing it. It fucking worked.
Jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Maybe you start like lifting weights or something so he can throw the ball further than 30 yards.
Yeah. I mean,
And yeah,
they had the best deep offense in the league. On
Yeah,
field
I'll tell you right now, you take Tyreek Hill away from that dude, and he's trash.
I agree. Tyreek Hill's definitely
Tyreek Hill and his whole offense makes him look.
I mean,
really
this
But
game was, I will say the Dolphins came into the game banged up. They had Jalen
Defense was decimated.
Jalen
Defense
Waddle
was
was healthy for that
absolutely
game, but I mean, whenever you've been battling a back injury all year, probably negative 30-degree weather isn't going to make your back feel good. So he didn't play a lot. I mean,
all bad.
Cedric Wilson got more snaps in that game than he did.
I mean, we never had a dude better than Jalen Waddle on the other side of Tyreek Hill. Oh wait,
That's true.
Playoff Sammy.
Travis Kelsey.
Kelce.
Playoff Sammy maybe, but still not a Waddle, man. He was never quite a Waddle.
Playoff Sammy and week 1 Sammy were better than Jalen Waddle. I will go to the grave saying that.
Okay. But I
many
mean,
Super
Travis
Bowls did
Kelsey
Jalen-
is, you do have to kind of throw in
And Travis Kelce.
Like, they don't have a Travis Kelsey.
That offense that Mahomes broke
Yep.
into the league with was fucking outrageous. Like,
Yeah. And I know people
Marcus
are
Robinson
still,
was nice.
like Travis Kelsey had a couple drops, but he still had 7 catches for 71 yards. So
Yeah,
not the
Travis
worst.
Kelce, listen, like
Problem is the 2 that he dropped probably could have been touchdowns.
2 of the 3. He had 3 drops.
3, yeah.
Because he had the 1 in the backfield too on the screen.
Yeah.
And that's where so I mean,
Yeah, he knew that one before his feet even hit the ground. He was slapping his hands. He was pissed.
he was pissed, yeah, as he should have been.
And they
I
were
hope
drive
it
killers.
starts
And those are the
looking better.
things those were 8 points. Like Sneaky said, they were both touchdowns.
Yep.
And we settled for field goals on those.
Yeah, that shit's not going to be able to happen for the rest of the playoffs. Like,
This
much
is
shit as I talk on the Bills, they could score.
Yeah.
We need
can't do
Travis
that to 'em.
Kelce to catch
I don't know
those
if they're gonna
balls.
score on this year's team, but
We need Travis Kelce to catch those balls, and we're gonna need what we saw from Rashee Rice again. That dude with fucking nails.
No, dude, Rashee Rice.
listen, so like,
Thank God. What a blessing that dude is. And you see the stats with him and Tyreek Hill, right?
Yeah.
In the last 2 years in the playoffs. And yeah, it wasn't Nick Wright going off about it, right?
I'm sure it was.
They have the same exact stat line basically from the
Yeah.
last 2 years in the playoffs, and Rashee Rice was in college last year.
Yeah.
You know, 130 yards with a touchdown. I think Hill had like a couple more catches,
Yeah, I think Hill had 12, and
which just
Rice
means
had
Rashid
8.
Rice's yards per catch were better.
Yep.
so I mean, I've been famously a bit down on the Chiefs the last few weeks.
Yeah,
They-
Sneaky, it is nice to see your
Yeah,
optimism.
I'm going somewhere with this.
That,
Okay,
You
yeah.
guys remember? Have you seen Major League 2?
yeah, dude, I have.
It's been a while since I've watched Major League 2, but
Okay, but like the Randy Quaid character, how he's just shitting on him the whole time.
Yeah.
The
Sure.
fan. And then fucking Charlie Sheen finally puts the glasses back on and the haircut and shit, and then like he's back. He's like, yo, yes.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah,
I felt
that's
watching Rasheed
that-
Rice catch passes. I was like,
that's
they're back.
We did
Yeah.
it. We've got a
Dude,
guy. We have a
MVS was
guy.
caught all of his targets, right?
Yeah, his one target, I think.
He caught it though.
One
Oh,
target.
MVS?
No, I'm sorry. He had 2 targets.
Oh,
But I don't know what happened with one of those.
I don't think he had a drop.
Watson
it-
caught his ball. That was
There you
tough.
Yeah,
Mhm,
dude. If they,
mhm.
if
Richie
if
James
Rasheed
caught one.
Rice,
Richie James caught one, I think, for a 3rd down conversion as well.
Yeah.
Noah Gray or Blake Bell. I get those two.
Noah
Back-
Gray, Noah Gray
80.
played 83.
Yeah.
Noah Gray, and I love how they mentioned they're like, listen, when
That
Noah
was a
Gray
tough
is
fucking catch that he
when
made.
Noah Gray gets involved, good things happen.
You should,
And I agree.
we should get him involved more. He
I
can catch.
fucking
He
agree.
doesn't drop the ball. Like,
No,
why
Noah
would we
Gray
use him
is.
more?
We could have a.
Ridiculous, dude.
I keep thinking we could have a tight end duo like you see in Buffalo. We just don't utilize that
Don't
set
do it.
enough.
I know.
We don't utilize that personnel enough, and I think we have the personnel for it with Noah Gray and Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
so, too.
I don't understand why nobody like I
And it-
I understand like it would take 2 outstanding tight ends, but nobody is I've never seen anybody since Belichick did it try to replicate that 2 tight end offense.
Yeah,
'Cause that shit with him and Aaron Hernandez was insane.
But you need
I'm
2
like,
tight
you
ends that
can't
are that
stop
good, too.
this. Like,
Like, you also need 2 tight ends that are that good,
yeah.
which is
Yeah.
tough to find. Tough to find. And I don't know if Noah Gray is that good, but he's better than most of our wide receivers. Like, I don't know why we
Baltimore
didn't
could
get
run.
forced into this.
I think we're going to see Baltimore running that this weekend with Andrews coming back potentially
Ooh, they may.
because fucking
Um,
Likely's been amazing.
Yeah,
He's been
Yeah,
they
awesome.
may have found it. The Ravens may have found it as well.
I mean, so yeah, I could see them employing some more of that.
Nikki, it is nice to see you, from your 10-7 and 1st round exit in the playoffs to, oh, we're gonna take Buffalo. Like, it's nice. It's good to see the optimism back.
In his
for this team.
defense,
Yeah, I mean,
losing to the
the-
Raiders will do that to us.
the Bengals game did a lot for my spirits.
Yeah.
Just seeing them lose.
Our offense has looked miles better.
Yeah.
With the basically the last 2 games that our starters played, miles better because we found I think we know where you have to be a run team that relies on our defense.
Take the points and
and-
we can get them.
Yeah, and Mahomes is being, I think, just a lot more careful. He knows he doesn't have that offense that he used to. He is throwing a lot more balls away. He's not taking the chances. He's not making like all the spectacular plays that you used to see, but he knows he doesn't have those guys around him anymore.
Yeah. And he still takes his shots. He's taking them every game. He's taking 2 or 3 of them every game.
So yes, he'll still do some, but he's not throwing like tight windows into the end zone where
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
he's throwing a lot more balls away.
I did like that we were it seemed like we were using the run to set up some play action.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, the offense has gained some creativity. I do fear that it's going to lead to us keeping Matt Nagy another year, though. And that worries me.
We'll see.
I'm just kidding.
I am really
I'm not even.
I'm really curious as to if they because the change in the offense you really noticed in week 17 against the Bengals.
Yeah, I think it was just a little bit of a game plan change, and I'm not too
Yeah, it was
worried.
just back to old school shit. So I wonder how much Matt Nagy is really having an influence on the offense right now.
Because we know this is Andy Reid.
Oh, yeah,
so I don't know if I'm too worried about who our OC is because we know it's Andy Reid at the end of the day.
I think the enemy had a lot more to say than.
Or for
I do miss him, but
17 weeks, Andy was just bullshitting us and the whole league.
I don't think he would wait that long. I don't think he would wait that long to you know what I mean?
It would be the biggest
Maybe
heist you've ever seen.
Maybe it was just a bet that we don't know about. He's like, you throw any offense out there and we'll fucking win.
Well, not any offense as we found. But yeah, I just
I think we covered.
let's turn a few more red what am I looking for? Red zone opportunities into touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
I
to what
wanted
I'm
to,
looking
maybe
for.
what his bet is they bet that he couldn't get a kicker Super Bowl MVP. And he's like, Well, I better get that motherfucker's leg warmed up because we're gonna get
Yeah, right.
He's so fucking epic.
that would be the most epic thing that's ever happened.
Mahomes got 2. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's
if Harrison,
fine. Yeah,
if he wasn't to
He
get
just needs
one,
another ring. He doesn't need another MVP necessarily.
yeah,
How many of those MVPs did Brady get?
5.
Yeah, he got like 5 out
Because I
of
remember
the
looking that
7.
whenever we looked it up, I looked up his because Deion Branch got 1. I know.
And sorry, I almost said Wes Welker. Julian Edelman, Wes Welker
Yeah.
2.0 got one.
Against the Falcons,
No, against the Rams
the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
when they won like 10-3.
Oh, fuck that game. I didn't pay attention to that. I
But
forgot.
but Julian Edelman had like
because he
100
scored the only touchdown, I think.
No.
Yeah, maybe he had like over 100 yards as well.
Yeah.
He was the only notable offensive player I think that day on either team.
You want to put an asterisk on a championship? Put it on that one.
The D Ford asterisk.
I don't know.
Just a garbage Super Bowl.
It was terrible. And,
Nobody
and the
deserves
Rams
it.
shouldn't have been there because of that fucking pass interference.
The Saints, yeah, against the Saints.
Which it was kind of like, we'll get to it.
The no call. But yeah, we can move to the what game you want to talk about next, guys? Do you want to talk about
Let's talk about Lions Rams because it was funny as hell to see the Rams get the shit beat out of them and not get flag thrown.
Yeah, Jared got
Flag
when
getting Super Bowls.
when Stafford got laid out.
I
on
thought
that
we were
one
about to
play.
see
That double hit was nasty.
I thought we were about to see Wentz versus Goff.
I can't
His
believe
head just
I can't believe there wasn't a flag thrown on that.
bounced
Yeah.
off that turf, man. Yeah, I was stunned there wasn't a flag there. I
Yeah.
was like,
You
all
know,
right.
you guys saw the look on his face, right?
Yeah.
If you saw me on the ground going,
He was, yeah, dude.
would you think I was okay?
They knocked him back to the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Or
Hey.
the shit, they probably knocked him back to Detroit. Like he was
Hey,
probably
listen.
like, he probably thought he played for the Lions there. He's like looking around like, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
Poor Matt
That's-
Stafford.
he's looking for
That's
Megatron.
the toughest fucking dudes I've ever seen, though.
Matt Stafford is fucking nails. That dude is tough as
He did,
played
dude.
great. He played great.
yeah.
He did. It was not his fault they lost. the
Nakua
game.
played fucking great. Like Nakua was unstoppable.
Puka! Dude, yeah.
Yeah, great. The Rams found another
Good
wide receiver. Just what we needed.
No.
There were a lot of dudes I followed that had Puka Nakua fucking mock to us last year too.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with Rice.
Congratulations to the Lions.
I'm great having Rice.
We could have had both, man. Puka went the 5th.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that one does.
That really hurts.
Dude, Lions hadn't won a playoff game in 32 years. And
Yeah,
they did it.
91. Mm-hmm.
Fucking
I
awesome.
like the clip going around of like Lions fans don't even know how to celebrate, and because the dude's just like standing there like,
what do
what do I do with my hands?
Dan Campbell crying on the sideline.
we went through almost a similar stretch minus 10 years. We went through a
Yeah.
22-year period
No,
of
and
not
our-
winning a playoff game. That was my childhood. That's what I grew up with. That was
Same.
like
That's what I'm
5 to 27 for me. Like that was
a year older.
it's scarred. I'm still scarred
Yeah.
from that 22-year period.
I remember
I
some-
always think bad things are about to happen.
I think it built a level of even keelness in me.
It just built PTSD for me. I don't know.
I just remember like Barry Sanders is one of my early football memories too. But it wasn't like just that he was great. It was just even at the age of like 9 or 10, I was like, why is this dude so good, but he never like playing for a Super Bowl? Like,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? We might be into it. Maybe we do get to see an Amon-Ra St. Brown get to go for a Super Bowl. Like, that'd be awesome. 'Cause
I think they're a lock for the NFC Championship game. I don't think Tampa stands a chance in that one.
I
Yeah.
do, but I don't think it's gonna be a close game. We'll get to it
Yeah.
later.
The Lions O-line's too good.
I love watching this Lions football team. And that's where
They're
Dan
so much
Campbell
fun.
wants them to be good, is the O-line and D-line.
Yeah.
And that's
I
why
mean, they really, grit, toughness. They've got it down there.
I think it's the
Texas is a
only
great
other
team.
team I would actively cheer for in the Super Bowl this year. As long as they're playing against us.
Imagine having the opportunity to take Aiden Hutchinson or Trayvon Walker first overall, and you chose Trayvon Walker over Aiden Hutchinson. Imagine doing that and then
Dude.
having
That
your
pick
job.
is looking worse and worse.
And imagine having your job still 2 years later. Like, how the fuck has that dude ain't got fired yet? Like,
Is that Trent Baalke?
yeah, Aiden Hutchinson, that dude.
Yeah, that was a good game. It was the only good game all weekend.
It was
that
the only competitive game.
Yeah.
Lions Rams game. Very back and forth. Rams having to settle for too many field goals, not being able to score on those couple of drives. That is really what did it for them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
it did seem like the Rams were relying a little bit on the big play.
That's just their offense too. I mean, they
is
are
their offense.
grinded out.
They were continually getting backed up into long third downs, but they convert because Nakua was just out
that
of
good.
it.
Yeah, you have Puka Nacua on one side and you have fucking Cooper Cup
Cooper Kupp on the other.
Like,
And Cooper Cup didn't do shit in that game.
yeah,
He
that's
was
because they
invisible.
were. That was a conscious decision by the Lions. They're like, we're gonna take one of the two. You have to take one of the two out. Is really what it is.
Yeah.
And
I think that's how you have to play the Rams. You take away one receiver and you hope that you're taking away the right one that day.
Yeah. I think that team, the Rams, ended up being a lot scarier than I thought they'd be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
the healthier they got, the further in the season. I think next year the Rams are gonna be scary again.
I mean, that's usually how they've kind of gone with McVay is like they'll have a down year and then a good year and then a down year. You're kind of
Are they back in the
I guess
clear?
last year.
They don't have any picks outstanding now.
I mean, they're the Rams. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I'm sure they don't have all
Les
of them,
Snead's still their GM. If they've gotten him back, they've sent him out.
right?
So
They're going to
Do you
sign
see
fucking Devontae
Goff
Adams.
like when Goff was under pressure in this game versus when he wasn't, like when they didn't blitz him, he was like 21-21, not being blitzed.
Yeah.
And this touchdown. And then when they did actually throw some pressure at him, which they didn't do enough, he was like 1 of 6 or something like that. Like the numbers were dumb.
and
So
that
I
is
think
dumb,
Tampa Bay, I
Yeah,
don't think is
okay.
going to make that same mistake.
especially because the shocking thing is the Rams. That's why they got rid of him, is because he couldn't perform when he was under pressure. And they did.
And I guess
pressure.
they only relied on Aaron
That's a
Donald to
good
get to
point.
him.
You know, like it wouldn't you
You-
think any other team would
Yeah,
fire their
he's got a
head
better
coach for
scouting
that?
report on Jared Goff than the fucking Rams.
Rams, right?
They- and
You would think
that's
they'd
why you
know.
got rid of him, is because he's doesn't perform well when he's fucking CJ Stroud
Yeah, him and Jordan Love.
and
right?
Jordan Love. I mean,
The exact same stat line.
And
Yeah.
CJ Stroud officially became scary to all the top teams in the AFC. Like everybody, that was the thing I noticed.
Unfortunate.
That everybody was like, "Oh shit!" Like it was like,
yeah, I said the same thing. Like I immediately said, "Go Bills." After that, I didn't want to see Houston round 2. I wanted to see if maybe Baltimore could
Yeah, Baltimore
care of
can
them
take care
for
of him first because
take care of them
I
first.
don't know
I'd
if I
rather-
want to see CJ Stroud with more confidence.
Exactly. I'd rather go 2 road playoff games than see CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
him and Jordan Love both 16 of 21,
Jordan Love was my
3 touchdowns, 274 yards for CJ, 272 yards for Love. So
Jordan Love and Aaron Jones are my 2 favorite players after that playoff.
because of how they wrecked the Packers.
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
the
the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Just
because
absolutely wrecked them.
because they did it to the Cowboys, I love them now. I now am a huge Jordan Love fan. I'm a huge Aaron Jones fan. Actually, Aaron Jones, you got to do it in one more week for me. If you guys can take down the Niners, I think you win the Super Bowl.
Aaron Jones was
Really?
making
Kelly
Jordan
God
Love's.
just said, "Aaron Jones, here's some new legs."
Yeah.
Right?
Or what
Yeah,
Aaron
gosh.
Jones said was, honestly, I just kind of didn't want to play this year. I was kind of mad Aaron Rodgers left me.
Honestly,
So I kind
if
of took
you
it easy, and then we were like, "Oh shit, we might make the playoffs. I'll give it a shot. I'll try it.
if
See
you
what
even
happens."
if you followed the Packers, the last few years, all of their fans were screaming to give it to Aaron Jones more. Like they weren't giving it to the guy. They were not relying
he
on
was
their running
hurt
game
all year.
enough.
Yeah, they were giving him plenty of carries, but he's been hurt a lot this year.
He missed half the season.
Not this year. No, previous seasons.
Oh yeah, previous season.
Previous
Give
seasons,
them
I'm
more,
talking.
Yeah.
They've been screaming to give him the
Yeah.
ball, but because of Aaron Rodgers there, they just relied solely on Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when they're like, okay, we've got a new quarterback who, we're not going to just rely on him to win us games. They're using Aaron Jones a lot more, and it is also helping their young quarterback
Look how
a
much a
lot.
run game can help you.
Yeah, who
It's
knew?
amazing.
Right. But Jordan Love making those throws off his back foot, like
While
dude made
jumping in the air.
some great throws. Like the one where he ran out to his left, turns back, makes a just
He
a
threw a touchdown. Did he throw a
perfect
touchdown pass where his feet were both off the ground?
something like that.
He jumped up in the. He jumped in
I
Nah,
don't
the
know if that
air.
was this week.
That long one he threw off his back foot.
He had
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Like he was going backwards off his back foot and launched that fucking thing.
I think you're thinking the week before.
Okay.
When he did that. I do remember that him
Yeah.
being both his feet off the
Yeah, he
ground
did
because they
do
were
that.
showing him and Favre and I think even Aaron Rodgers all making a throw like that where they're like both their feet are off the ground and
God
yeah.
damn
It's just terrible that the Packers have found their third straight great QB
that long-suffering franchise that missed the playoffs last year.
1 year.
I felt so sorry
Now-
for them. It's been a long time.
One like half a good season and a great playoff game does not make a great quarterback. So he does have to keep it up, but so far, I mean, it looks
So
like they got another
in what
one.
way is Jordan Love going to get weird?
I know,
don't
right?
want to. I don't want to take my guess yet.
In 16 years, what controversy is Jordan Love going to be starting?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And don't forget, Dick Pic and War with Jimmy Kimmel have already been taken.
Right. Yeah.
Drug addict who wars with fucking Jimmy Kimmel. You can't be that, and you can't be a Dick Pic sending
going off on ayahuasca
dementia.
retreats.
Yeah.
He's going to be a Scientologist.
You can't
Oh, that's
ouch. Okay. Weird.
That makes too much sense, man.
It does.
Yeah.
Hey, let's make some
Scientology's going to get him.
Stealing tax money from the poorest people in the country.
And then after the career is over, they're gonna find a body or something.
Yeah. So
by far the worst.
Yeah, congrats to both CJ Stroud and Jordan Love because they both had the same QBR and landed with the tied for the third best debut in a postseason.
Oh man.
So
it hurts that CJ Stroud is in the AFC because the AFC did not need another really good quarterback.
Well, they needed
the NFC could have used both of these guys because Jesus Christ.
What can you do? What can you do?
Yeah,
can you believe that?
I think we're taking Dak Prescott off the good quarterback in the NFC list.
Yeah, that one.
He's good, but
he's a regular season warrior.
I tried telling you guys earlier in the year, Dak don't got it. Like he just don't got that dog in him. He ain't got that killer instinct. He don't. We see it in guys. You can see it in all the greats. I don't see it in him.
No, he didn't got it.
My favorite take on him is Colin Cowherd said he's Dak Prescott with Jordan branding.
With Jordan branding?
And he's Kirk Cousins with Jordan branding.
With Jordan branding. There you go. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I've always thought that it's
huge regular.
And it's not a knock on the guy. I think he's around where Alex Smith was.
Folds in the big games.
Yeah. He's about what Alex Smith was. You
Alex,
root for the guy. You root for the guy on a human level. He's a good player.
None of those playoff losses were ever really on Alex.
Yeah, but I mean, like last year, Dak played fairly well in the playoffs. The year before, the last 2 years, they were one-score games where they had a chance to win it at the end of the game.
It's not even like his stats look fine. It's the plays that he can't make when he needs to. Like that's what it's always been with him.
Yeah.
Like Dak in the last 2 minutes, if you got to have it, you're usually not going to get it. Dak in the playoffs is the guy who is going to, for some reason decide to scramble up the middle when you're running and you have no timeouts left and like there's 14 seconds left in the game.
Wasn't that a design quarterback draw?
No, that wasn't. That one was not a design. Last year's terrible ending play was the year before that was not a designed one. No, they had like 60 yards.
No, that was a fucking go route to the end zone.
And he
pulled it back and ran.
and ran it, and of course ran out of
Because it
clock.
was so automatic.
And
Because he shot back and he hit that back foot and then he
when-
pulled it and went
dude,
immediately. That's why
when
it looked
was
like a draw.
Yeah,
his
that's pure
It was
panic.
Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator, so forgive me for assuming that he called a quarterback
it
draw
was
at
pure
that
panic.
stage. 'Cause he dipshit.
His worst play of that game was when the team, you're down 20-0. You have to make this drive. You got to put up some
And he threw the
points.
pick six.
The last thing you can do is throw a pick six, and that was just
Yeah.
one of the worst pick six I've ever seen. Like
It was
he
terrible.
threw a pick
Yeah,
six.
Yeah, it wasn't a Carson Wentz level pick six. Like it was a
It
bad
wasn't
pick
like,
six, but
okay,
come
I
on.
should
It
have
wasn't
given
like
up
he
a long
threw it
time
off
ago.
his back foot with his left
Different
foot
type-
into double coverage.
Different
wasn't a
type of
fucking-
terrible.
Dr. J hook shot.
Yeah. No, it
Different
was
type
bad.
of terrible.
Sorry. I'm just
But he just, and you could tell just the defeat in his eye. Like,
Yeah.
it looked like the moment was too big for him, and that's what we saw. Like,
Maybe
And it
he's
looks
playing
like it's
3D.
always going to be.
Maybe he was playing 3D chess and had to get rid of McCarthy. We'll never know.
the Cowboy or the
Fine.
the Packers have now gotten McCarthy fired twice. At least I'm
Hey,
I'm guessing
but-
McCarthy's going to be fired.
The other part of that is you watched a head coach candidate lose those opportunities in real time.
Dan Quinn lost a lot of money in that game.
Yeah, because number one, again, kind of like the Eagles, they looked completely unprepared for what they were about to see. And they looked a little disinterested. Like they looked kind of dispirited after the second touchdown.
I've never seen so many wide ass open wide receivers. I have not seen the Chiefs have a wide receiver as open
Yeah.
as like 3 or 4 of the Packers were.
Ah, well, I mean,
Like
Who was it that caught the was it was Musgrave?
Musgrave, yes.
Musgrave was by PFF was statistically the most open receiver anybody's been this year.
Yeah.
17,
Like Jordan Love didn't even make a great
17.1
throw on
yards
that one.
him in
It
the
was
next-
kind of underthrown. He just had to stand there and wait for it, basically.
Yeah,
and there's-
he could have thrown that ball anywhere.
There was no one around him. And there was multiple times like that. One of their guys, when he went out to, I forget which one, the fucking receiver stumbled on the route and still ended up like 10 yards wide open. Like it was insane. I've never seen a defense that was supposed to be really good. Cowboys were supposed to have a good defense, just fall flat on their fucking.
Hey, and
Love
Deron Bland got all pro over Snead.
well, Deron Bland did
I know he had a
break
bunch.
an NFL record, and Snead did lead the NFL in penalties.
Yeah, I'd say Snead
Listen,
Those are both
Sneaky.
good
had a
points.
record too, right?
sneaky. I'm going to say this. Thank
Those
you,
are both-
Deron Bland, for getting all pro. You have made it feasibly possible for us to retain Snead. Had Snead
Absolutely.
won that all pro, there's not even a chance at all that we would have to be in the
We
conversation.
wouldn't be.
No,
The only
Bengals-
reason I'm
Bengals
giving us a
jumped
slight
all over.
chance is Deron Bland. But
Ooh, I
okay,
wonder if the
okay.
Bills don't try and go after Snead.
they might.
His
They
revenge
keep
for
failing
McDuffie.
it. They keep failing at finding a corner. So
Kyer Elam
Obviously-
actually had an interception in that game.
what's that?
Kyer Elam actually had an interception in that game.
Good for him. I'm not rooting for him to fail. So
Yeah.
good to see
Yeah, I
him.
mean, I don't
The
like-
Browns, man.
I want the Bill. I don't want the Bills to be good, but my thing is like I can't hate the Bills because like they don't ever. I'm not threatened by the Bills. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
they
just
just when it doesn't matter.
like seeing them lose. Their
I
quarterbacks.
get it. I don't like Josh Allen. He's a baby back bitch. I think I like him more than you do, but I don't know. I just dislike Burrow more. But let's make some picks.
Well, we didn't even talk about how the Browns just falling flat on. I mean, the Browns Browning.
Yeah.
And that Joe
Yes.
Flacco ride coming into like an immediate halt.
We thought they had a chance to do things, but they didn't. That's just how it is. You put faith into them, and they failed.
I thought their defense would at least show up. I wasn't expecting them to score a ton of points, but my God, where the fuck is that defense? Like you had the best defense all year, and that's what you give us? Like you allow fucking 45 points? I don't even fucking remember that. Like it is.
It was bad.
Come on.
They just got shredded.
You got shredded by a rookie QB. Like I get Stroud might be that next dude, but my God, man, you can't allow 45 by anybody if you're supposed to be a good defense.
Yeah, it was
Jim Schwartz, baby. Jim
the
Schwartz.
difference between the good teams and the not good teams was so apparent this weekend.
No kid, man.
Between those good teams, let's make our picks. Okay, so Texans at Ravens.
We're just gonna start with a tough one.
I know, right? I want to say the Ravens, but I saw those Texans playing.
I'm taking the Texans.
I'm gonna take the Raven.
So Sam takes the Ravens. Sneaky.
Granted, it was week 1. I'm pretty sure, but the Ravens beat the shit out of the Texans earlier this year.
The Browns beat the Texans.
Browns also beat the Texans, yeah, earlier in the year.
It was like a particularly.
So you're gonna
The
take
Ravens have had like 2 weeks off. Not just their bye week, but they also rested their
That's
starters.
That's something I worry about. I don't like that. I saw that
I don't like
happen
that.
too many times with the Colts.
Seems like too much time off.
Fuck.
God, this is a tough one. Why'd you do this to me? Okay, I'm gonna take Lions over Tampa Bay. Let's go to the Lions at Tampa
No,
Bay.
we're
sticking with
doing
the
this one first.
I'm sticking with the Ravens because I want them.
Okay. Okay, Packers at 49ers.
49ers.
I'm taking the Packers.
Okay.
I gotta go Niners because I just don't think Green Bay has anything on defense to answer. Like Jair Alexander's good, but they have too many weapons.
Yeah. They do, and I'm just saying I think if the Packers can hop out early like they did in this game by 2 scores, it's over.
Yeah, they need some mistakes from San
If they
Francisco.
can replicate what they did,
Turnovers or a
I
couple
don't think
if they
San
can replicate-
Fran is gonna be their defense is gonna be as ill prepared.
No, but
Is their defensive coordinator planning for a head coaching job?
probably he should be. I mean, he's been
Aren't they always in San Francisco?
that's what he should be doing. If not, he's a fucking loser.
You know. But I don't think they're gonna be quite as ill prepared as the Cowboys were.
No.
So Buccaneers at Lions. Sam's taking the Lions.
I'm gonna go take the Lions, even though the Buccaneers could, if they just pressure Jared Goff. And I think Todd Bowles will. I
do
think
too.
Todd Bowles' defense is going to try to get after that QB.
That's all he
That's
does.
what
Like nobody
He's got a
blitzes than Todd Bowles.
I'm taking the Lions as well because I can't take the chance of having all 3 of my games be the one where I'm alone. You know, like I have to pair
That's
up with
true.
somebody. So I'm pairing up with Sam on this one.
Can you believe that either the Lions or the Buccaneers are going to be in the championship game? Like that's crazy. Like just
I
because
hope
it's the Lions,
because I don't want it to be the Bucs.
I know, right?
Fuck the
Just because
Buccaneers.
it's the Lions and you never expect them to make it that far. And then the Buccaneers, after the season they've had, where it's just been that probably they'll be the worst team that's ever made in a championship
It
game.
would. Sneaky.
I think, yeah, I'm going Lions. I think the most ideal matchup for TV would be Lions Packers in the NFC.
That'd be awesome. Be great.
But I mean, there's so much history with. Oh, I
I-
guess San Francisco and Green Bay are playing this weekend, so
I would love it.
yeah.
I think we did it, boys.
Did we pick all the games?
We picked them all. Well, except for the Chiefs Bills.
I guess there's only 4 games.
There it is. That's such a low one. So
The divisional week is usually the best one as well, too.
it
Like,
is.
that usually gives you some of the best stuff. Championship week is great, but there's usually only like one good game. Usually even like in the conference championships, one of those is a blowout.
Now,
Um,
normally the NFC side,
yeah, but the divisional round it can be fucking crazy.
it can.
I mean, you
I'm
really
excited.
narrow it down. You get rid of those trash wildcard teams that shouldn't have been there, really,
I know
that are
it's
just
fun.
filling spots. And you narrow it down to,
Well,
the 4
everything
best
went
teams.
chalk except the Cowboys Packers.
Yeah, that was the only shocking game. The Packers were the only wild card team to win.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we did it, boys. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video.
Yeah.
Come back again next week where we talk about the divisional.
Hopefully we're as happy as we are this time.
Yeah, I'm only halfway happy, but I'll be better.
I don't know how you can have hardcore fandom.